Hello. If you've been watching my series, you know what it's about. And go through the same thing, I guess. My name is Ken Dreesen, and this series is about spiritual or religious alternatives. And this one is called Infinite Spirituality. And it has some aspects that are similar to religion, because it does involve a type of faith, even if it is more connected with science. So it's what I believe in. It's my higher power, or my worldview, or my belief system. And it's based on infinity. And as a religion, it has a founder. Although earlier societies like ancient Greek and Egyptian and Indian philosophers in BC, and not British Columbia, but before the Christ, or I forgot what it really means, but a long time ago. So they mentioned infinity and being like beyond limits or bounds and thought of it. But until Giordano Bruno, who was executed in 1600, and that was near the time of Galileo and the first telescopes and things in our modern time. And through looking at the sky, he envisioned that the universe was infinite, and he believed, or came to believe, that every star was like our sun, or our sun was similar to a star. And he theorized that there were other planets going around these other stars, and it just went on forever. And that set off the Catholic and Christian theocracy of the day, and they didn't like that. And besides that, they wouldn't even say, in as far as the writings go, and as far as what you can find on Wikipedia and other places, they didn't say it was because that he thought there was infinite amount of suns. It was more, he believed more in pantheism or polytheism, that there would be also infinite gods, and that the whole world and the whole universe was itself God, instead of the Christian belief of setting God aside and anthropomorphizing God, meaning put human attributes to a creator image. So in a way, this is not really a new belief system. It is just refined from what's already there, which that's what we do as humans. There's really hardly no way around it. Somebody has thought up everything that you ever thought of before, or at least in a similar manner. We're all like individual. There's no one like you or no one like me, but on the same instant that we are very similar, even if we have our differences, and we don't look exactly the same, and our fingerprints are different, and on and on. We are human, and the immensity of the human collective is right now at 7 billion. So how many billion people lives in recorded history that we know of? Of course, somebody else is going to have a similar thought. So, as far as I can tell, though, is I credit Giordano Bruno with bringing infinity into a spiritual sort of set of beliefs. And now the next person, since we're going through our people, our patronized spiritual saints, or our human thinkers. They're not that special, but they are special because they took the time and the willingness to express their beliefs and their studies, and combine their observations with their intuition to have a feel or a understanding of infinity. And this next guy is from the early 1900s, I believe, by memory, is Georg Cantor. And he was a mathematician, and he worked with infinity and developed mathematical means of working with infinity and infinite sets of numbers. So this to me is very interesting because I do believe space is infinite. It has an infinite set of points on a XYZ Cartesian coordinate. It's infinite. It goes, and then if you point in one direction, that line is an imaginary infinite line. There's nothing, there's no like brick wall, oh, that's the end of space. Space is infinite within itself, yet space is only space. Space is space, and that's what it is. It is a set. It is not infinite upon itself. It is only the infinite volume of that particular part of our physical realm. So then you can combine it with time, and then yes, time and space are related, as Einstein's theory said, but space is always space as far as I'm concerned, and time is always time. They interact with one another, but and they call it the space-time continuum, like Stephen Hawking says, and I pretty much agree with that. I'm not like going off on my own. I accept a certain amount of past study of the physical realm, and I accept a lot of things that some people don't accept, like flat earthers. They don't accept no Newtonian physics or nothing, but I have actually done experiments that would lead me to believe that Newtonian physics works in the physical universe, just like Georg Cantor. And his name, it doesn't have an E at the end of it. So if you're going to look up Georg Cantor, and I'll put a little definition of the video down and explanation of the video when I'm done, so you can study some of this. So I believe that that space and time are infinite. I actually believe that matter and mass as we know it is a phenomena that only happens within a certain part of the universe, which is true because matter doesn't exist past the speed of light. So in an infinite universe, there is something that exists past the speed of light. In fact, until our time, until our lifetime, or Einstein, with the last 100 years or so, we can understand infinity and the speed of light in a way we never could before, especially since the internet, which is obviously not God, but it does have attributes that we would normally relate to God, because the internet is everywhere at the same time, and that's omnipresence, and it really is. And people that believe in God are going to say, oh, you're with Satan or some other crazy stuff that just, because that's the way they were trained to believe. Belief systems and religious beliefs and everything tend to come upon us in our years, in our younger years, and are handed down through generations. Just like even all our science and all our other writing and our philosophy and our psychology and everything has been handed down. And that is a way we accumulate knowledge about our existence. So with computers, somebody can be watching this in China at the same time somebody's watching it in Europe. At the same time, if 5 people watch it in the United States, all simultaneously, and they're in different places. So that is a property normally given to God, that through our collective conscience and through some people having invented or work together upon the phenomena of the internet and the World Wide Web. It will never replace a Christian or Muslim or Jewish God or a Hindu God or any tribal historical God, but it does have an omnipresence on earth. So I don't know what else to say. This is what I believe in. It is infinity. It's almost scary to think that it goes on forever, and some people come up with theories that there is a million U's in a million different places that are exactly but one hair off, or like when you put 2 mirrors together and it just goes on forever. And I really don't think that's how infinity works. There's another way of thinking about infinity that some people doubt, and some people use it to judge people that are liberal or progressive in their views. They call them snowflakes. You snowflake, you're so stupid. You think you're a Marxist, and you just think you live in your little la land, and you can't be like us and just hate and judge everybody and be a conservative prick, can you now? So you are a snowflake. Well, fine. There are infinite varieties of snowflakes, or approaching infinity to the point where, as far as scientists can tell, no snowflake that has ever formed in the sky of planet Earth for 1 billion years, or how many billion years, is exactly the same. That has to do with the way the water molecules form, and with, in a certain amount of variation, there are hydrogen atoms that are like tritium and deuterium, and it's different. Each place in each snowflake is not exactly the same. And that's another reason why I've made videos about the infinity being opposite of God, because God is like trying to put everything together into a singularity, which I've said before. And infinity is so obviously, in my mind, not a singularity. And that is the basis of the infinite religion or infinite spirituality. And this is the day after Christmas in 2017. And I hope you had an enjoyable Christmas, and I hope you have a Happy New Year. Good evening.